Yo, what's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are continuing our off-season/season prediction series today, looking at the defending Stanley Cup champions in the Mile High City. They're still celebrating up there in Denver, Colorado, the Colorado Avalanche. Can they make the playoffs in the 2022-23 season? I don't know, it's a little questionable, so we'll take a look at the Avs today. All right, so let's start off with last season. Now, obviously, we know, yes, they won the Stanley Cup. They knocked off the big boys in the NHL for the last couple of years, the Tampa Bay Lightning. But looking at their goals for and goals against, I like to start there and kind of seeing, did they get better in those categories? Did they get worse? So we're going to look at that. So their goals for, third best in the NHL. I mean, there's really no debate here. I mean, you look at that roster, it's kind of easy to see why that's the case. They had Nazem Kadri, Nathan MacKinnon, Val Nichushkin, Mikko Rantanen, Gabriel Landeskog, Arturi Lehkonen, who I think was very underrated. You look at all those guys. I mean, Andrei Burakovsky, they were just such a good hockey team, and I expect that to continue despite some guys not being there next season. Now, there really wasn't any change to the blue line, but we did see a couple. We're going to see more of the young guys. So Alex Newhook did play last season. I expect him to get a more prominent role, especially with guys like Kadri gone. We're going to see Newhook at a very much cheaper price take over that role. Martin Kaut could also get an opportunity. He's a former early draft pick. He was a highly regarded prospect back in the day. Hopefully he gets things going at some point. And then in between the pipes, they brought in Alexander Georgiev from the New York Rangers, signed him to a contract extension right away. So it's going to be interesting to see how Francouz and Georgiev kind of do next season. Overall, I think the Avalanche did pretty well. I mean, again, you have to consider in a salary cap era, this is why we don't see dynasties anymore, because it's so difficult to keep the band together. And the Avalanche are going to pretty much do that. I mean, for the most part, Nathan MacKinnon will be back. We'll worry about that next year. Nathan MacKinnon, Gabe Landeskog, Rantanen, Lehkonen. Now you've re-signed Nichushkin. You've got Newhook, who is a very highly regarded prospect. This team is just going to keep continuing to funnel guys in. And I think that when you look at the Avalanche, there's really... I mean, their blue line, I think it's a good thing that they didn't need to make any additions, because that means they didn't have any subtractions either, right? You've got Sammy Girard, Devon Tays, Eric Johnson. Who's that other guy that's pretty good on the blue line? Oh, yeah, Jacob McDonald. Yeah, Jacob McDonald's pretty good, too. So when you look at that blue line, Cale Makar. That's right. That probably the best player in the NHL last season. He was pretty good, too. So you look at the Avalanche, I think there's just... Again, I think it's a good thing that they didn't need a lot of additions, because they didn't have as many subtractions as people thought, right? They were able to retain Josh Manson. They were able to keep Nichushkin. They kept Lehkonen. So how much more do you want, right? Yeah, you lost Kadri. Yes, but again, you have a guy in Newhook that can come right in and sort of take that role right off the bat. It doesn't hurt so much at that point. So... kind of a short one today. Do I think the Avalanche can make the playoffs? Yeah, I mean, that's a foregone conclusion. I think they will make the playoffs, barring some crazy event happening. I think they make the playoffs. Do I think they could win the Stanley Cup? Absolutely. I would put money on the Avalanche winning the Stanley Cup next year. They've still got a really good roster. Again, there's the impending things of injuries and stuff like that. But the only real question is goaltending. Georgiev did not end last season with the Rangers that well. And I think the Rangers did a good job of sheltering him at the end. But he did not play well. I remember I went to a game at MSG where they played the Canadiens at the end of the season. And there was a game that they were down. He didn't start the game off that great. And then the Rangers came all the way back in the third. And then he blew the lead. He was not very good. And that game in particular, but... even throughout his tenure, with the Rangers, he had some good moments, but for the only team he was a really killer for was the Islanders. He was an Islanders killer. So for the two times that the Avs play the Islanders, you're probably going to do good with Georgiev. Other than that, I do have my limitations about how good I truly think he is as a goaltender. But I guess, again, when you look at what they did with Kemper last year, you could make that same argument. Listen, our defense and our way of playing is so good that we don't need a Vezina Trophy goaltender in between the pipes. And we saw them win a cup with it, and we've seen other teams try to replicate that as well. So let me know what you guys think down below. What do you think of the Colorado Avalanche? Do you think they repeat as Stanley Cup champions in 2023? Let me know your guys' thoughts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.